It's one of the most frustrating and confusing experiences a man can face. Everything starts off fine. Arousal is there, the erection is strong, but somewhere in the middle of the moment, it fades. If this has ever happened to you, type 1 in the comments right now and hit the like button. Let us know. You're not alone, and your experience could help other men facing the same issue. Many men, even those who have no trouble achieving an erection initially, experience sudden loss of firmness during sex. And while it can feel awkward or even concerning, the reality is it's more common than most think. It often has clear, manageable causes. Today, we're going to examine 3 of the most frequent reasons why this occurs. Not just the surface-level explanations, but what's genuinely happening inside your body and mind that can trigger a loss of erection right in the middle of the act. By the end of this video, you'll understand your own erectile physiology far better, and more importantly, you'll know which steps to take to improve performance moving forward. Quick reminder, type performance in the comments if stress has ever affected your erection. I'll read every response. To understand why an erection might fade, we first need to know how it occurs in the first place. An erection is not only about arousal, it's the result of a complex interaction between the brain, nerves, hormones, and blood vessels. It all begins with sexual stimulation. This sends signals from the brain down the spinal cord to the pelvic nerves. These signals initiate the release of a chemical called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide functions as a potent vasodilator. This means it relaxes the smooth muscles of the arteries, particularly the cavernosal artery inside the penis. This relaxation allows more blood to flow into the corpora cavernosa. These are the 2 sponge-like chambers in the penis. As these chambers fill with blood, pressure rises. The tunica albuginea, the firm outer layer, expands. This expansion compresses the veins that would normally allow blood to exit. It effectively traps the blood inside, keeping the erection firm. It's a delicate process. If any part of this chain is interrupted, whether by physical, psychological, or chemical factors, the outcome can be a sudden drop in rigidity. One often overlooked reason for losing an erection mid-act is cardiovascular health. That's because erections depend heavily on adequate blood flow, and the vessels involved are surprisingly small and sensitive. For instance, the cavernosal artery in the penis is only around 0.4 millimeters wide, much narrower than the coronary arteries supplying the heart, which range from 0.8 to 1 millimeter. Therefore, any condition that impairs circulation, such as high blood pressure, high cholesterol, smoking, diabetes, or simply aging, can impact your ability to sustain an erection. In fact, erectile problems are sometimes the first warning signs of broader vascular issues. When arteries narrow or lose flexibility, the amount of blood reaching the penis diminishes. The erection may start off strong, but it cannot be maintained. Not enough blood reaches the corpora cavernosa to keep pressure up. It's not only about the heart, it concerns the entire circulatory system. And when the penile vessels are compromised, it indicates that other areas of your body might also be under strain. Another potential reason you may lose your erection during sex involves the tunica albuginea. This is the tough, fibrous layer surrounding the corpora cavernosa. Its role is essential. As the penis fills with blood, this layer expands. It compresses the veins that would otherwise allow blood to flow back out. This compression traps the blood inside, sustaining the erection. But when the tunica albuginea loses elasticity, often due to chronic conditions like diabetes, it may fail to exert enough pressure. That means blood begins leaking back too soon, even while arousal is present. This is called venous leak, one of the more frustrating causes. Everything might appear to work initially, until it doesn't. The tunica albuginea must remain flexible and strong to maintain proper pressure. If it becomes rigid or thinned, its ability to sustain an erection decreases significantly. This problem is particularly common in men with poorly managed diabetes. Over time, this can damage tissue and reduce functionality. Even when everything is working physically, your mental state can profoundly affect your ability to maintain an erection. Stress, anxiety, performance pressure, these emotional factors can trigger the release of adrenaline, a hormone preparing your body for fight or flight. While this response is beneficial in dangerous situations, it's the exact opposite of what your body requires during sex. Adrenaline is a vasoconstrictor. It tightens blood vessels and decreases blood flow, including to the penis. This means even if arousal is high and the initial erection occurs, elevated stress levels can literally shut the process down. This is particularly common in younger men or those in new relationships where performance pressure is high. Your brain plays a central role in sexual function. If your thoughts are dominated by worry about your body, your partner, or the situation, it can block the signals necessary to maintain the erection. The result isn't a lack of desire, it's a physiological response to psychological tension. The good news is that, in most cases, there are clear actions you can take to address each of these causes. Let's begin with cardiovascular health. If poor circulation contributes to the problem, improving overall blood flow is essential. This includes managing conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes, quitting smoking, shedding extra weight, and committing to regular physical exercise. In many cases, medications such as Cialis or Viagra can also help by boosting blood flow. But they work best when underlying health concerns are simultaneously addressed. But what if there was a natural way to support your body's ability to stay firm without drugs, side effects, or complicated routines? Thousands of men are now using a simple 7-second home remedy targeting the real underlying cause of performance problems. It's science-backed, simple to follow, and it could truly change everything for you. Just point your phone's camera at the QR code on screen or click the pinned comment below to watch a brief, eye-opening video revealing the exact method. It's fast, natural, and surprisingly effective. It could be the breakthrough your body has been waiting for. For issues with the Tunica albuginea, especially in men with diabetes, focus should be on tight glucose control. Keeping blood sugar levels stable helps prevent additional damage to penile tissue. In advanced cases, medical treatments like penile injections or intraurethral gels can help maintain an erection even when venous leak occurs. When the root cause is psychological, therapy can be extremely effective. Working with a sex therapist or psychologist can reduce performance anxiety and break the cycle of stress-related erectile problems. Sometimes, simply knowing you're not alone and that this can be treated makes a huge difference. Experiencing a loss of erection during sex can feel discouraging, but it's important to remember, it doesn't define your masculinity or your value. Usually, it's not a mystery, it's a signal. Whether it's your heart, hormones, stress, or lifestyle, your body is trying to communicate something. And the sooner you listen, the sooner you can regain control. Knowledge is power. Understanding the process is the first step toward improvement. You don't have to face this alone, nor settle for uncertainty or frustration. Speak with a doctor, explore your options, and don't hesitate to seek help, physical, emotional, or both. If this video helped you, like it, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Share your thoughts in the comments below. You never know who you might help just by speaking up. Gentlemen, if today's video helped you protect your health, your confidence, or your energy, you can now say thanks in a special way. Just click the thanks button below the video. Your support helps me share more tips that keep men strong and healthy well past 60, and I truly appreciate